Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Peter Manser. I'm the chairman or president of the organisation, and I'd like to welcome you all here this afternoon. Thank you for coming and some of the getting around some of the challenges we had with the parking and everything, but it's good to see you all here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I've just got a list of proceedings here. So I'll start with the chairman's report. Then we're going to approve the minutes from last year. Then we adopt the annual return, the performance report of the finances. And we vote on the proposed changes to the Constitution. And we will elect the honorary accounts reviewer, elect the board of directors, and then we have any other business. So what I'd like to do is start with the chairman's report and tell you what we've been doing. So I won't make it too much PowerPoint to scare you all, but I thought it'll be good to cover some of the things. So we'll talk about the goals that we had for this year, our operations manager, our field worker, and the support groups. Talk about the fundraising that we're able to do, the board, and looking ahead, and also the people that we need to thank for what's happened so far this year. So our goals for 21, the key goals for our organisation were to hire a manager and a field worker. So we had a pilot program with field worker last year, and we learnt some things. Okay, so we realised that we needed a manager. We needed a full-time manager, or a healthy manager who didn't have to fight illness and also support, because we found that in order for a field worker to be very successful, they need support. So that's why we hired Jamie, and then it was really important to get her underway first so we could make sure that the field worker was fully supported and everything was actually underway for that. The second thing we wanted to do was look at one organisation for ME Auckland, rather than having different support groups, try to focus things in together so we have a united voice across the region. And the third thing was to improve our communication with our members. So we're a small organisation and we want to focus, rather than do a lot of things, let's do a small number of things and do them well. So we hired an operations manager, Jamie. Stand up, Jamie, you are. Okay. So Jamie joined us in April. She's got 10 years experience in public and private health care, and her role is to oversee the day-to-day running of the organisation. Organise the events and things like that. And we got her on early so she could be involved in the hiring and selection of our field worker as well. And she's done an awesome job. Do you want to say a few words, Jamie?
No pressure.
Yeah, if you stand about there, and the microphone's easy, I'm going to pick you up.
Do a dance. Hi everyone, I'm Jamie, and I am very, very, very sorry about the logistical constraints today. Auckland Council unfortunately double booked us, but we got through it because we're resilient characters. This is what we're used to. So I have been with the organisation 6 months now, and it's gone quickly. We've had a really busy 6 months. We've got the lovely Janet on board now. My time has been busy getting policies together, getting procedures together, working with the board in terms of governance and direction, and we're really looking forward to the next strategic stage. So I'm really happy to be here. On a personal level, I've got an almost 5-year-old, she's 5 next week, married to an airman, pretty sedate, boring life. Live out West Auckland, and I'm also a dental practice manager and own my own HR business consultancy, so I feel skilled and knowledgeable and able to deliver what you need as a organisation. So thank you for having me as part of the team.
Okay, and Janet. Janet's just joined us. She's just finished her induction, I think, last week, was it? Or? First week. The first week, okay, that's great. Janet's got a lot of experience. Just summarise that she had 10 years experience working with refugees, liaising with DHBs, the community. She's got her own personal experience of ME as well. and she's really passionate about empowering people and helping them rebuild their lives. So we're just really excited to get Janet on board, and looking forward to her getting out there and helping our people. Do you want to say a few words, Janet? Thanks.
Yes, I've just finished week 1, so it's very exciting to be doing this role. I'm very grateful, and already I've been meeting different members of the board who have already been dealing with ME in their own lives, and I'm just blown away not only by their own passion and commitment to this organisation, but also their knowledge. So certainly my induction time is very much about learning from everyone here and from the members, trying to get a better understanding of ME as it's experienced here. I had ME as a student many years ago when I lived in England, and I was one of the very fortunate ones who had it for a very short amount of time and then was able to retire. But I have dealt with a neuroimmune condition for nearly 10 years and have had to learn to manage that, so I'm well out, almost completely recovered, but I've gone through a lot of the symptoms like pain and brain fog, all those things, trying to manage a job with that, so I do understand some of those very difficult lifestyle limiting things. My background, as Peter said, is largely in charities, so I've worked for 17 years in the charity sector, as well as running my own business with my husband. So hopefully in amongst there's a large range of skills that will hopefully at different times prove useful to your membership. So I'm looking forward to learning more from you.
Okay, so the support groups was the second area I talked about. We've currently got West Auckland and Papakura up and running. North Shore, East Auckland and young adults plan to get underway again. And it's our, Janet's going to be very heavily involved in these, and I think it's really important that we get them up and get them running and get them focused, and we can use our communication, that sort of thing. But you got something to say, Patrick? Oh, sorry. I've got to make sure that everyone out there can see what I'm saying. Yeah, so that's important for us. And the other thing that we're going to vote a little bit later on the support groups, and there's a change in the constitution. Originally, when ME Auckland was set up a number of years ago, there was part of the constitution said that there had to be a representative for every support group, but we don't see that's appropriate now with the way that the organisation is, with one focus and one voice across Auckland. So that's what we're going to talk about, and we have a little voting a bit later on. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is make sure our communication is improved. Our Facebook page has been well looked after, and we're ramped up this year. Our website, we're doing some more work on that, making sure that's appropriate. We've got our first newsletter is just about to go out, so we're going to have a regular newsletter as well. We're just getting all the IT and things underway to do that, to make sure we have regular newsletters, regular communication with our members. And we've got our 0800 number, which Jamie and Janet will be answering, or us answering now. And that just makes it easy for people to communicate with us. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do there. Okay, and our membership, just some interesting numbers. We increased from 125, that's in June last year, wasn't it, Patrick?
Yes, June.
Yeah, to the end of June this year, 234. So we've now got a growing number of members, which is important for us, especially when it comes to funding. We need to be able to show these things to keep the funding people happy. Okay, so our fundraising, we raised $21,500 through grants from these foundations, mainly thanks to Patrick, who did a lot of work in that area. Well done. So that's really what's enabled us to actually hire Jamie and Janet and go out there and do what we really want to do. And we also had Michelle Tierney organised a fundraiser, and that was excellent, as well as some other donations. So that adds up to $25 nearly 26,000 we raised. So, what we've done here is we've shown you how our fundraising has grown over the years, and we've projected that we need to raise $36,000 in the next financial year. That's from July this year to the end of June next year. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but the good news is we've already got 21,000 of that allocated thanks to lotteries and COGS grants. But moving forward, it's going to get a little bit tougher. Lotteries had a really good year last year, which they don't think that's going to be repeated, I think you're saying, Patrick, and it's very competitive applying for grants. So we've still got some work to do there, but it's looking good so far. Done a great job so far this year. Okay, so I'll introduce you to the board. There's myself as chair or president, depending on what you want to call me. Patrick, the vice president. Francis, our secretary there, who does a great job in keeping notes and all that sort of thing. Regina, who's getting keeps all the numbers, tracking all the numbers and make sure the bank accounts are all up to date. And Yvonne there. And Stephanie. Yay! So good to see you again. Oh, I keep moving. Sorry. Yeah, so we'd like to thank the board for doing such a great job. And yeah, we have fun. You know, we don't always agree, but that's what it's all about. Okay, so I'd just like to give specific thanks to a number of people who have really helped us achieve our goals this year. It's probably a bit small for people to read, unfortunately. So Michelle Tierney, she did a great job with this back to school fundraiser, and that raised a few $1,000s, I think, wasn't it, Patrick?
It was over $3,000.
Yeah.
Which I'm really thankful for, and a lot more publicity to boot. So.
Yeah, so that was really good. We got newspaper publicity as well with that. Steve Hall is currently working with the government and the media to try to get more awareness for ME. And we've also got Rosalie Oliver for running the Young Adults group, Trish Kovich for offering free counselling to our members, Dawn Lodge Osborne for designing the work on our information packs. Hey Dawn, well done. Marie Dent, who's a volunteer field worker in West Auckland. Anton for doing such a great job, North Shore group, and wiring me for sound today, so that's good. Bernie, who's going to be reviewing our accounts for next year. He's not here today, is he? So no. Okay. And also, we've been liaising with two key organisations, the Complex Chronic Illness Support Group, BOP, who have given us quite a few ideas and strategies, and also Well ME in Wellington. We're in contact with those to make sure that we can learn from what they've learned and apply what works in their regions to what works in our region. Okay. So that's the end of the my address, and now we get on to the formal part of the meeting where we have to do a few legal things. So I'll invite Patrick up to do that. I'll send you the paperwork. Okay.
It peels up a little bit, I see it there.
But it's all not.
You've got it dangling off you.
Hey, we're different.
A wave to a camera.
Right.
You'll be on YouTube.
I don't mind that. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to approve the minutes of the last AGM, which was held on 29th of October 2016. So I'd like someone to move that, please.
And everybody should have a copy of the minutes in front of
Yeah,
them.
if not, there's a copy.
I'm happy to move.
Okay, Regina.
Moved by Regina, and a second one.
I'll second it.
Thank
Roger
you.
Edwards.
Right, thank you for that. Right, and the next thing we need to do.
We will take a vote.
Do we do a vote there? Okay, so, yeah, okay. So all in favour of the minutes of the last AGM?
Leave it up.
Being adopted? Against?
All against. There you go, got it.
Okay. So we also have to receive and consider the audited annual report of MECFS Auckland, which is the report there. So
So I mean, to summarise annual report, we passed our audits a couple of days ago. No issues with accounts. Our funding has increased from about $15,500 to $26,000 year on year. You'll see if you look at page number 8 of the report, the vast majority of expenditure has gone towards direct service delivery, so a field worker program and Jamie supporting members. So $16,000 or $15.6 thousand has gone towards our sort of frontline stuff, with about only $1,900 to overhead. So we're a very cost light organisation. We don't have an office. We don't pay for electricity or anything like that. Heck, I don't think we've even bought a packet of chips or bought it. The money that's donated to us pretty much goes to a front line. So that's a statement of financial performance on page 8. Balance sheet on page 9, you see is strong. As at 30th of June, we had 24,000 or 25,000 of cash in the bank account. No debt on the balance sheet at all. And since then, I think our position's improved to about $40,000 in the bank today. So got enough money to provide services, and it's pretty much a very brief overview of us. Service performance.
Okay, who would like to move that we accept the audited annual report this year? Thank you, Ian. And who's like to second that? And those who vote that we accept and receive this, please raise your hand. Thank you. Anyone against?
Carried.
Carried. The next role is to elect. Actually, no. The next thing we need to do is discuss the changes to the Constitution.
Yeah.
So Patrick's going to say a few words about that.
There's a fun one. Everyone should have this very big bureaucratic document to come in. It's our Constitution. So just by way of background, we've proposed a couple of changes to it, and any changes have to be adopted at AGM. We can't go changing a constitution without our members having a say and a chance to vote for it. So primarily there are two changes. The first is our accounts, as per the constitution, are required to be audited each year. Our auditor is a man named Bernie Radford, who's very capable. He's a chartered accountant. He does a great job. But he's recently informed us that the Institute of Chartered Accountants has cracked down free audits. So Bernie used to give us a free audit, and now he's not allowed to anymore. And he said to us, he said, look, given a charity of your size, you don't want to waste about $2,000 in members' funds on getting your accounts audited each year. So he suggested that we change it from requiring an audit to requiring a review. So a review is very much like an audit, as in Bernie will take a look over accounts as a chartered accountant, he'll put his name to it to say it's all okay. It's just not a formal audit requirement. So you'll see throughout the Constitution on page 6, 7, on page 10 as well, we've just amended the wording to allow us to have a reviewer rather than auditor. Question?
Will that affect fundraising?
That's a good question. The common rule in funding is if you're applying for really big money, so over 10 grand per provider, they often like to see an audit. But beyond that, it's not going to have a big effect, and we're not unique in this situation. I understand that ANSMES is looking at having their accounts reviewed rather than audited as well, and they're a bigger organisation than us, and a few other charities too. We should be good on the fundraising front. I have reviewed the requirements of our funders. With the exception of COGS and lotteries, we usually apply for under $10,000, and our funders, we pay just $3,000 or so here and there. So we should be good, and I know it's our financial year 17 performance report that's got an audit opinion on it, so that keeps us going for the next 12 months.
Thank you.
And then any other questions, feel free to shout out by the way, but that's a first change, and it's a pretty small administrative one. But the second one is a change to the requirement to have a support group representative on the board. So when ME Auckland was started, we consolidated 3 different support groups in Auckland, the North Shore group, the East and South Auckland group, and also West Auckland group. And our constitution, which is on the very bottom of page 5, it says that a board has to consist of a representative from each of those 3 groups. And when we did our strategic planning this year, we sat down and we thought, well, we've got these 3 different groups throughout Auckland, but we're one organisation. And but West Auckland group had its own mailing list, and North Shore group had its own mailing list, East and South had its own mailing list, and it was all very fragmented. And so one of our goals at the outset of the year was to bring all the groups together under one banner, so we've got a stronger voice, we've got more members in ME Auckland, and we can also provide better resourcing to them, because if you're on the ME Auckland database, you can call us up, you can request the services of Janet when she's up and running after induction. So we went to remove this paragraph 10b at the bottom of page 5, which says that you have to have a representative from each of the support groups, because we see the organisation as being a lot more integrated. So that's an overview of the changes to the Constitution, which we're proposing to be adopted today. Anton at the back.
Just a quick one. The other problem is we found it very hard to try and get a representative from each of the 3 groups, because not everyone was well enough. If it wasn't been for Stephanie, you wouldn't have had anyone representing on the board. North Shore, for example.
That's right, yeah, and the East Auckland group is currently unoccupied. Lovely lady Wendy Matthews, who runs that group, she is very ill at the moment.
And I was on the board for a while.
Yeah,
I got sick.
and Maureen in the front row. But she still acts as, been acting as volunteer field worker for West Auckland region, which we've been very grateful for. And that hinders a lot of things. Sometimes it's hard to get quorum, for example, if people are sick and they run a support groups and can't turn up. So that's a summary of the 2 changes. And
No, that's a good summary of them. So, would someone like to move that we amend the rules of the Constitution? Thank you. And second?
Maureen, you want a second?
I seconded it.
So like Dawn got
Okay, so we'd like to vote for that. So those who are in approval, raise your hand. Anyone against? Okay, carried. Thank you. Right, okay, the next on the list is to elect our honorary reviewer, accounts reviewer, and Bernie has agreed. So, we just, I think we just vote on it, don't we? Actually,
Yeah.
We move that we accept Bernie as our accounts reviewer for this coming financial year. Yep. So Patrick will move that. Anyone second that? Thank you again. And those in favour? Anyone against? Carried. Thank you. Right. The next on the list is to elect the Board of Directors. Now with our Board of Directors we have 2 appointees, don't we? We have the Treasurer and the Secretary are appointed, and the rest of the board is due for election. Now, were there any...
Some complexities. We have 6 board members. For President and Vice President Peter and myself, we have to be re-elected at each AGM. For Secretary and Treasurer, so Francis and Regina, they're appointed, so there's no votes on their part. The support group representatives, they don't have to be voted at the AGM because they're in the Constitution they're given a role, but because we've just abolished that in the Constitution, we thought it'd be a good practice to vote for them. So sorry for the boringness of that explanation. Basically, we have to move to vote for 4 positions: Peter, myself, Yvonne, and Stephanie. Okay. So in terms of I move a motion to re-elect Peter as president of ME Auckland. Sure. Peter. I got you a second. I got you a second. And all in favour, raise your hands.
Oh, sorry.
Well, and anyone against, raise your hand. Cool, so motion carried.
Okay, and I'll raise a motion to re-elect Patrick as the Vice President of the organisation.
And you got 2, right?
And so if you'd like to vote in favour, please raise your hand.
Okay, can I vote for myself?
I didn't vote for you.
Oh, come on, Patrick.
Better than voting against yourself.
Yeah, anyone against?
So who seconded that? Sorry. I was just reading the final results of the election. Labour
Sure.
has got an extra one, Greens have got an extra one, and Nationals lost 2.
Oh, yay!
And more crucially, is that why you raised your hand? You weren't voting?
I was voting, but I forgot
You
to
were
stop
voting.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Who seconded your appointment?
I got Marie on the second one.
Okay. So,
So next up, Yvonne, election of Yvonne is was West Auckland representative, but a general director now. Moved from Regina.
second.
I got you a second once again, Marie. Marie was quite. All in favour?
Anyone against? Larry?
Carried. And last up is the lovely Stephanie.
I'll move.
I don't want to hold the
She
show.
demands. Hold on, and let's go.
So who do we have first and second for that?
Okay,
Yeah,
and
we'll go first and second.
all in favour of
Peter again.
anyone against? You voted for yourself, Stephen?
Yeah, I did.
Good. Great. Okay, carried. Right. The only other thing on the list is that's it. Any other business?
Yeah, there wasn't any proxies of it today.
Yeah. Do we have to make sure that?
Because we set a deadline for proxies to be in, but just for good practice, if anyone else was carrying any proxies today, just let us know now and we can add them to the votes. Could take a question, right?
Yeah. So the official business is over, but